Hello everyone, it is your boy Winster and I am back at it again with another video. I hope you who is watching this video are having an amazing, phenomenal day. I appreciate the support, it does mean a lot. But some of us here unfortunately have been suffering from success, guys. Konami caught wind of how good we were doing with our our favorite deck, Snake Eyes, in hitting the consistency with Poplar and Snake Eye Ash going to 1. Now, some of us Snake Eyes players have been scrambling. How do we pick another top tier? I mean, how do we pick another favorite deck? Well, worry not. We got a new strategy coming out in the new Yu-Gi-Oh set here in a couple months, Ryzeal. And I'm going to go ahead and break it down and what the deck is going to be looking like when it releases and how it's going to be affecting the game. But before we get into today's breakdown and the strategy, I want to make sure I give my YouTube channel members a shout out. Of course, shout out to Wymie, shout out to Corey, shout out to Thomas Mead, and shout out to Staying Young. Thank you so much for being channel members. I do appreciate you guys. For those wondering, what are the perks that you get when you become a channel member? You guys get a shout out on every single full video that drops. You guys get early content on all full videos. And on top of that, you guys could schedule games with me, albeit on Master Duel, Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, testing. I could review your deck or anything along those lines. You just got to set up the schedule. Let's go ahead and break down this new strategy that's looking pretty promising in the TCG. Getting started with the main deck monsters. We have a total of 5, but one thing before, they all have an inherent summon. For those who don't know what inherent summon means, it just means a summon that doesn't activate a chain. For example, Poplar, once it's searched off of Bonfire, it activates in hand to special summon. That is just a regular special summon effect. Inherent summon is like the Bellstar that just drops onto the field. Its summoning effect to summon itself does not activate nor start a chain, and the Ryzeal monsters are no different than that. They just have different ways to do so. They also all lock you into rank 4 exceed monsters for the turn from the extra deck. For the first monster, we got Ice Ryzeal, a light level 4 Pyro, 1700 attack, 1000 defense. This card's effect is you could special summon this card from your hand by sending one card from your hand or field to the graveyard. A very Snake Eye-like effect. If you do, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except rank 4 monsters. You can only special summon this card once per turn this way. If this card is normal summon, you can special summon one Ryzeal monster from your deck, except itself, and you could only use this effect of this card once per turn. So that first discarding effect could potentially have some synergy with other strategies, given that's probably for another video, but definitely something to highlight since it sends 4 effect. When this card is normal, right, it special summons from the deck, which is very, very powerful. However, it does have to be normal summon, not special. So I definitely think it is a great normal summon from the deck. However, on the opposite side of things, it could be easily stopped with just a simple Veiler and an Imperm. However, that's where the deck's strength comes into play, guys, because this deck could swarm like crazy. But on to the next monster. Up next, we're going to be talking about Thode Ryzeal. It's a Fire Thunder monster, 1500 attack, 200 defense. Its inherent summon is by controlling a Ryzeal monster on the field or graveyard, and then you're locked into those rank 4 monsters from the extra deck for the turn. If this card is normal or special, which is phenomenal, you could add one light pyro monster from your deck to your hand, and you could only use this effect of Thode once per turn. Realistically, your biggest target for this search is going to be Ice Ryzeal. In my personal opinion, Thode and Ice are going to be the best starters, and definitely going to want to max out on consistency, probably playing 3 of those. Up next, we got Node Ryzeal. It's a Fire Thunder monster. Its summoning condition is you have to have an Exceed monster in the graveyard or on the field to special summon this card from your hand. On field effect is you could send one card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target one Ryzeal monster in the graveyard, except itself, special summon it in defense, but its effects are negated, and you could only use this effect of this card once per turn. This monster, definitely not bad. It requires some form of setup. Obviously, the Ryzeal strategy, as you soon will see, have easy ways to get monsters into the graveyard from the extra deck. That way, allowing this to be easily summoned, in my personal opinion. But I don't see where this card would be more than a 1-of in the deck. Next, we got La Palma Ryzeal. It is a fire thunder monster. This card cannot be normal summoned or set and must be special summoned from your hand by shuffling one Ryzeal monster from your hand or graveyard into the deck or extra deck. Its on-field effect, you could send one level 4 monster from your hand or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to that monster until the end of the battle phase. It's definitely mid. It does have some situational applications, but nothing really to even play the card, in my personal opinion. Obviously, there are going to be those players who do play it and will find some sort of success with it, but I think by far this is the worst one. Its summoning condition is pretty strict, in my personal opinion, for a rank 4 monster. But I could definitely see it where it potentially unbricks some of your hands by sending extra copies of monsters that you have in your hand and being able to summon this as an extender to go into your Exceed play. And the last main deck monster is X Ryzeal. It is a light pyro monster, level 4, 500 attack, 2000 defense. The way that you special summon this card from your hand is by sending one Exceed monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, which is freaking crazy because it doesn't have to be a Ryzeal extra deck monster. It's just any extra deck. And there's some powerful monsters that you could send to the graveyard so you could really combo off of. I definitely think this is one of the stronger Ryzeal monsters that isn't an inherent starter like Ice and Thode are. Super strong in my personal opinion. But its effect is, if this card is normal summon or special summon and you do not control any face-up monsters other than rank or level 4 monsters, you could add one Fire Thunder monster from your deck to your hand. Definitely very powerful in my personal opinion. You search this off of Thode and then you search it out, special summon it, and because you control level 4 monster, you get some extra searches, which is freaking crazy. Extra deck for the Ryzeal. We got a grand total of 2 of them. First up, we got Ryzeal Detonator. I feel like I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I think that is the joke. They're going for Detonator, maybe Konami censoring it, I don't know. But it is a light rank 4, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. My man out here looking like a Taco Bell 5-layer beefy burrito. This monster's effect is when your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you could attach one material from this card, then target one card on the field, destroy it. You can only use the effect of this card once per turn. If this card is special summon, you could attach one monster from your graveyard to it as material. If an Exceed monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you could attach one material from this card instead. Its destruction effect requires you just to detach material from an Exceed monster you control. Absolutely crazy. It is a once per turn effect, and it targets any card on the field. So you could get rid of like trap or spell cards, and its protection effect for Exceed monsters, if they're destroyed by battle or card effect, you could attach a material from this card instead. Super crazy stats, really good effect. Its protection protects all Exceed monsters. Really good extra deck monster in my opinion. Our second extra deck Ryzeal monster, we have Ryzeal Dual Drive. Man, this card is freaking crazy. It is a Fire Thunder monster, 2 material level 4 monsters. For each material attached to this card, monsters you control gain 100 attack, and monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack. So some good attack decrease and increase. You could only use this card's effect once per turn. If this card is special summon, you could attach one Ryzeal monster from your graveyard to it as material. So being summoned already is going to give you 3 materials, which is freaking crazy. During your main phase, you could detach 2 materials from this card. It doesn't actually have to be this monster. To add 2 Ryzeal monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. What were they thinking? This is just gigantic sprite on steroids. Its stat line is pretty good too. 25 attack, 2000 defense. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this card. It automatically has 3, and then you get 2 searches. Having 3 material is really important for what comes next. On to these spells for the Ryzeal strategy. We got 2. Ryzeal plug in, and when I was reading this, I thought plug and play, but this card's effect: target 1 Exceed monster or Ryzeal monster in your graveyard or banishment, special summon it. Then you could attach 1 Ryzeal card from your deck to 1 Exceed rank 4 monster you control as material. Also, you cannot declare attacks for the rest of the turn except with rank 4 Exceeds monsters you control. You can only activate 1 plugin per turn. This card is okay. Keep in mind that the Ryzeal strategy does send to the graveyard some extra deck Exceed monsters, so resolving this effect is not going to come up too often. The ability to attach 1 from the deck to the extra deck monster which is on field is pretty crazy. The second spell card, and it is a field spell. Let me tell you, this field spell is looking powerful. We got Ryzeal Cross. You cannot exceed summon monsters with the same name as your cards you control. That just means you can't control multiple copies of Detonator and Duo Drive while you have this card. And then its effect: you can target 2 Ryzeal cards in the graveyard, except this card, place them at the bottom of the deck, and then draw a card. And then its other effect: once per turn, when your opponent activated a monster effect resolves, you can detach 1 material from 1 Ryzeal Exceed monster you control, and if you do, negate that card. I feel like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro wording on that is a bit wrong, but essentially this helps you play through like Nibiru because you'll always be able to negate it as long as you have like a Ryzeal Exceed monster, which is freaking crazy. So before you get into your 5th summon, you need to make sure you get this field spell to be able to play around Nibiru, which is super powerful, especially when strategies have the ability to swarm like Ryzeal does. Nibiru is like a great answer to that, but now with this field spell, you don't even need to worry about it, bruh. And the last support card for the strategy is a trap card. Look, man, I'm not here to say, Konami, you need to pick better names, but get a load of this card. They got Ryzeal Hole Thruster. It's a normal trap card. Target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Ryzeal Exceed monsters you control. Destroy them. Then you could attach 1 Ryzeal card from your graveyard to 1 Exceed 4 monster you control as material. Its other effect in the graveyard: you could banish this card from your graveyard immediately after this effect resolves. Exceed summon using monsters you control, including a Ryzeal monster. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. Its effect is absolutely crazy. Target cards up to the Ryzeal monsters you control and then destroy them. And on top of that, its graveyard effect allows you to Exceed summon on your opponent's turn, so you get some powerful monsters, which is absolutely crazy. This card has an awful name, but a phenomenal effect in my opinion. And the big kicker on this: you could activate this card on your opponent's turn, Exceed, do plays, and then activate its graveyard effect as well in the same freaking turn. Card is busted in my opinion. Some other support cards that are looking real powerful in the strategy is Bonfire. Pretty straightforward. Search any level 4 or lower Pyro monster, which an important strategy is Ice Ryzeal. For some reason, the Ice is a Pyro, but you'll be able to search this bad boy out. And then you got X Ryzeal, which you'd be able to search out as well. And you just send an extra deck monster to the graveyard to special summon this. Freaking powerful. Other cards like Small World are going to be very powerful. The reason being is because you don't have to play like bridge cards. That means like play a specific card that allows you to go into another one using Small World. I already know Small World is a little bit of a complicated card, but that is something going for the strategy. Another one that we just don't have yet is 7th Tachyon. You could go ahead and dump an extra deck monster that is unnumbered and then search out one of the same attribute. We don't have it just yet, but that card is going to be crazy in this deck as well. However, you do have to play some extra deck bricks, which is a lot better than playing main deck bricks. The Ryzeal strategy is also looking like very small, very concise engine, which leaves a lot of room for non-engine. You're going to be playing, what, 3 Ice, 3 Thode, maybe 1 Node, maybe La Palma, and maybe 2 of X Ryzeal because of how strong that special summon is. And then you're going to be playing maybe 2 Field Spell, a Terraforming, and you're going to be playing one trap. That leaves so much space for non-engine, for hand traps, for board breakers, whichever method you want to take. As to my overall thoughts on the strategy, I definitely think it's very powerful, has some very strong swarm capability. One Ryzeal just leads to another and another, and they're able to play through cards like Nibiru, which are very prevalent in the current format. And like I mentioned earlier, the small engine allows you to play a lot of non-engine or board breakers. You pick, you decide your poison here. Rank 4 being the main target and main focal point of the strategy already has a plethora of great targets on release. You got Abyss Dweller, you got Exciton Knight, potentially Zeus. You have so many cards that you could really use in the strategy. I definitely think that this deck is going to be a force to be reckoned with upon release because it's going to be very consistent. However, here in the TCG, we have Fire King, we have Snake Eyes, we got Yugioh, we got Tenpai, we got Voiceless. We have all these other strategies that are still being played at a high level, and I don't think right off the bat it's going to knock any of those other decks that are potentially the best deck in the current format off of their pedestal right away. I think it's going to take some time, and I do think it's going to take some hits to those other decks like Yugioh and Snake Eyes and Fire King for this to take that top rating spot. But it is going to be a force to be reckoned with. I want to get your guys' feedback. How do you guys think this deck is going to perform? Is it going to be as consistent as it is in the OCG? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on the strat. I'm always one to improve my content, improve my craft, ladies and gentlemen. Please let me know if there's anything that I can improve your viewing experience. Please let me know in the comment section. I would love to be better, become a better YouTuber for you guys, so you guys could enjoy. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.